where they're following things, their customs and traditions. I found that it actually, it actually made it very hard at first to be a good Muslim, because some of the things that they were dragging into the religion just were ridiculous. Even the way I got married with all this, it was really a Malay type wedding, which I remember when I was in Indonesia, the Hindus used to do similar things, and I didn't like the Hindu religion from what I saw of it in Indonesia, in Bali. I saw that what I was reading in the Quran and Hadith, it didn't say to do things like this, So I sort of stuck to myself, and I would listen to some of the learned people from that community, but a lot of the things I just wasn't very happy with. The main thing with with Islam, I found there was a good brotherhood there. There were Muslims amongst these people who were practicing proper Islam, and that brotherhood, you felt very close with them. That was what kept me going in a lot of ways. It kept me stronger in Islam. I could see that there's a whole lot of people on the wrong path, even though they call themselves Muslims, but in that there's people who are on the right path. So I kept striving to mix with those type of people. In those days, it was the more the Tabligh Jamaat type people that I did mix with. They were the only ones I could see were closer to the Quran and the Sunnah. So I tended to do a bit of work along those lines there. As I learnt the Quran and Hadith, with the knowledge that I had, I just picked out those people who were closest to what I've read in the Quran and Hadith, and followed them. And I found it was the Tabligh people. There was about 3 or 4 groups up there. There was Ahkam, there was Mufaridun, there were some other strange groups. I can't remember the names of them. And they all had their own ideas. And when you went to their classes or their meetings, you would see things there that, invoking jinn spirits and doing some things which I never, come across, They had some very funny superstitions as well. I had superstitions when we were Christian, I didn't expect to come into Islam and still see those sorts of superstitions, but they were there. So I tended to stick with the people who follow Quran and Hadith more closely, and I found, the superstitions and all this rubbish fell away. And I could see the pure Islam, and that's what I wanted. I don't put myself in any group. I follow the Quran and Sunnah to the best of my knowledge. And I listen to a whole range of people. I don't agree with everything the Salafi people say, or the Wahhabis, or the Tablighis, or whatever. But there's a lot of good things in there that I do agree with. If someone says something, they got it from the Quran and Hadith, I can check it up. Alhamdulillah, I accept that. If they start saying things which is opinionated or whatever, then I may take their opinion on, may not. It just depends on what it's about and what knowledge, what proof I can find for myself. Islam is the best religion, there's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, the Muslims are not doing the job they're supposed to be doing, and therefore they're giving Islam a bad name. They make it look bad. I've met Muslims who I really didn't like. I've met better Christians as far as their manners, their personalities, their characters are. So it's the Muslims that let Islam down. But Islam, of course, is, when you look at it in its pure form, it is, there's nothing can match it, come close to it. But it's really, I see a need for the Muslims to get their act together, practice Islam, learn about Islam, and then give da'wah to the people, especially in this non-Muslim country. We really need to live in amongst the kuffar. If we don't spread the message to them, eventually they're going to turn on us. I can see it, whereas like happened in Bosnia. Muslims living side by side with Christians and Orthodox and Catholics and whatnot, and eventually these Christians turn against them and just slaughtered them. I can see this here if we don't start telling people what Islam's really about. I found over the years, I've worked in all types of places, talked to all types of people, and most Australians, when you tell them about Islam, are very open-minded towards it. Once you get past that barrier that's been put up by the media and explain them what Islam really is, most of them, even though they may not embrace Islam, they agree with you. You know, they agree that it sounds reasonable, you know, sounds logical. And I think if the Muslims really start doing dawah in this country, they will get a lot of people coming to Islam. Because people, I know, the average Australian are looking for something, but they don't know what. And all they see about Islam is what's happening in Afghanistan, in the Gulf War, in Chechnya, or wherever, you know. The media always portrays Islam as being bad and, you know, always fighting each other and, you know, whatnot. But when they see the reality, I'm sure that they will embrace it. So it's up to the Muslims to actually get their act together and start doing dawah properly and let them know what it's all about and practice it themselves. You know, if every individual, you know, practices Islam to the best of his ability and shows his good manners and good character and is honest and that, then this will have a big influence. And even though I know a lot of people who are not Muslim, but they respect Muslim, you know, they're not the kuffar. They really, I have a lot of, you know, mixed with a lot of non-Muslim people, and once I've told them about Islam, they do respect Islam. And when they see things going on in the world, they're not just one-sided on, you know, like on America's side or the Western side. They can see the other side too, you know, which is good. So eventually, inshallah, one day they will become Muslim. Now, the way I come through Islam, I prefer that because, alhamdulillah, I've seen a whole range of different things in Islam, people that call themselves Muslim and their practices, and it's, alhamdulillah, it's helped me to learn what the real Islam is, and you know, alhamdulillah, you know, I'm glad it happened the way it happened. It taught me a lot in life experience. There's a lot of things I want to do. I really, the main things I suppose is, while I'm living in this country, is to do da'wah to the non-Muslims. Because, you know, from my background and other people, non-Muslims who have come to Islam, I want everyone to have this religion, to know about it, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to put more effort in giving da'wah and trying to you know, bring people to Islam. That's one of the main things I want to do. And also in the Muslim community, I would like to do things to get the youth doing things other than sitting in front of television and computers and whatnot, you know. I'd like to get them out into the countryside, you know, camping or fishing trips or whatever, to get them to do things active, you know, outdoors. Good training for them, you know, and get them off the streets, get them out of the nightclubs and what, because at the moment, you know, there's a lot of young guys that go to nightclubs, they go to dancing, and they're falling in with wrong friends and drinking alcohol and stuff like this, you know. So I want to make it also that I can influence these young guys to get back to Islam, practice Islam, and still they can enjoy things, you know, but more the outdoors type of life rather than the, Assalamu alaikum.
لبيك اللهم لبيك